Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Tonight, we're going to talk about gaming, but not gaming, just any gaming. Gaming for man's best friend. The joipaw is a gaming system designed for your dog. So, a UK-based startup company called Joipaw is serious about making video games for dogs. They're basically claiming that it could have health benefits for your dog's brains. They're tackling things like, separation anxiety, things like that to help your dog cope and things like that, or just helping their brains to stay young by being engaged. So the game basically showed like a demo of a dog playing a couple of games, like a whack-a-mole game where they're basically hitting the screen where the moles are at with their nose. And when they get, when they hit moles or do something right, it dispenses a treat for them. So it's got, interactive gameplay. It's stimulation for your dog, and there's another one I saw the dog playing where where there's a, looks like a hedgehog or a porcupine running across the screen. He's trying to hit it with his nose and he gets treats whenever that. So basically, and there's supposed to be talks of like a motion tracker on the control. So the game activates when the dog walks up because it detects the control, the collar, so the motion control thing on the collar. So yeah, if you love your dog and you love gaming, it's a win-win. Your dog can play whack-a-mole while you're playing whatever is the current game that you're playing, or if your dog has really bad separation anxiety, you can fatten him up while you're gone by letting him play whack-a-mole and eating a bag of treats a day, whatever you need to do. It's interesting concept. In this day and age, people love their pets. They love their dogs, they love their animals, and enriching the life of their animals is a thing a lot of pet owners strive for, right? They want their pets to have the best that they can of anything, and this is another thing at it. And I can kind of see this taking off, if I'm really honest with you, because there's that whole video camera treat dispenser that hit the market. And I'm like, who's going to buy this to dispense a treat to their dog while they're at work? Well, guess what? A lot of people do, so, so it's interesting. And they talk about, it's an interesting article that was basically released. I mean, I don't know when this thing's coming out, but I think there's actually even a buy-in right now where you can spend $6 for like a 5%, for a 5% discount when it releases. I think I was reading somewhere that's kind of something that's in there. So right now, if you're interested in it, go find Joipaw, a website, and put a deposit of $6 down to get a 5% discount on the final purchase price when they're ready to release this thing. And there's just a whole lot. I mean, the gamers thinking about this is kind of interesting because I read things about a global scoreboard, so you can rank your dog against everybody else's dog. It's going to be competitive. Before long, there's going to be competitive esports for dogs with this. There's going to be rankings and everything. There's no time frame yet for this, so sign up with your $6. It's a refundable $6 too. So sign up for $6 to get a discount when this thing comes out. It may be right up your alley. I mean, if those people who just love their pets to no end, this is a great thing to keep them occupied. It's just, it's interaction for your dog when you're there, when you're not there. I can see benefits of this. I can see downsides to this. I mean, getting your dog to start to use this thing, I was reading in the article, is that they use a little peanut butter they smear on the screen to get the dog to bump it with their nose. But my dog would probably just start licking the whole screen, that kind of stuff. So, Nick, what do you think about dogs gaming?
It's an interesting concept. And you're right. I mean, people will buy anything for their pets. So I don't see a problem with this selling. I mean, I think the training would be the hardest part. It's for certain breeds and certain dogs, right? To get them to interact with the screen and kind of show them that interacting with the screen it causes a treat to come dispense out of the bottom of it. But yeah, I mean, if it helps stimulate the dog and keep the dog's brain stimulated and young when it gets older, and all that good stuff, like those brain games they used to make back in the day for the Nintendo DS, for the old people to use. Then yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Whatever helps, I guess. It's I would say you could use this for a lot of different things. Like you got a new baby, you could, instead of treats, you could put M&Ms in there, and then they play the whack-a-mole game. Maybe they introduce other games, right? Like games like mathematical games, like doing like small equations and stuff. When you get it right, it dispenses an M&M or something like that, for your kid. You don't have to do anything, you could teach them English, math, social studies all through the screen, and it just dispenses candy if they're right. And the same goes for your dog, but clearly this game could not be used for a cat. The cat would not care, but your dog would care. And so, I mean, certain cats maybe, but I think maybe if a fish going across the screen, it might play. Yeah, but it's a very interesting thing. Like, I guess if you're gone away from your dog, right, there's certain people that do have certain work schedules and stuff like that, where they do have to be gone for the majority of the day, right, or something like that. So this could be something to help keep the dog active in doing something while it's waiting for its owner to return, right? Especially if it's left in the house, it's not got much to do but rip up the carpet and go through the trash. So maybe it can play some whack-a-mole or follow the possum games and get some treats while it's at it. So it's an interesting concept. But I know people with dogs. I mean, Pat has 2 dogs. So would you get this? Would you get this for your dogs, Pat? Would you get them the stimulating porcupine game?
I don't know. It depends on how much it is and how indestructible it is, right? As I have one dog that would probably boop it until it broke to get as much treats as they can, or chew on it, or something like that. I don't know. So it was kind of funny you were mentioning mathematics. There is one game where they were like, hey, can your dog detect which side of the screen has more bubbles than the other? So your dog is learning to count at this point. There's 10 bubbles here and 5 over there. Which one has more? So I get the treat, I mean, it's stimulation for dogs. It does sound interesting. If you're paying $6 for a 5% discount, it doesn't sound like it's going to be too expensive then. I mean, a little over $100 at that point, so I don't know. I might be interested in it, but I also am not one of those people who bought my dog one of those automatic treat dispensers. So my dog can suffer without a treat dispenser, I guess, while I'm at work. They get plenty of stuff when everybody's around. But yeah, I mean, next thing you know, will your dog eventually keep playing without the reward? Is it that stimulating to them, or is the reward what they're after? Which I would assume the reward is, because they don't, or does that teach your dog bad habits now? They see a mole on the television screen, they start booping it with their nose and knock over your TV,
Or outside, they see a mole and they just start going after it, start smacking it with its nose.
Yeah, they go over to boop and be like, "Where's my treat?" Yeah, it's interesting. There's quite a bit of stuff in there. So I mean, I believe they will make bank delivering this to the market, because there's plenty of people who adore their pets and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not one to talk. I loaded up a game with like swimming fish for my cat and put it on the floor and watch the cat go after it. Cats just for entertainment purposes. The dogs could have cared less, but also didn't spit out a treat when they hit it. So so I can see this making these guys a good chunk of money, and especially if they start having games on, like, I don't know if I should give this idea out to them or not, but you could put a subscription service out to where you get new games. When they release new games, you got a rotation of games, or you sell the games that come out. Buy a new game for like iPad, iTunes or Google Play type money, like $1 to $10 per game, depending on the difficulty that you load onto this thing. And it comes preloaded with whack-a-mole, but do you want bubble count and whatever other mindless games? You want Frogger, when they can play Frogger, and if they get all the way to the end, they get a whole plethora of treats. So there's a lot of ways to make money with something like this. And then it's also, then you got to start incorporating screen time for your dog. You can only play on this every, 15 minutes every couple hours. I can't let you play on this thing and eat all the treats in one day. Yeah. But I do kind of see a little bit of an enrichment in a dog's life, especially when you're not around. If that's what, that's a little bit of an enrichment for them, which is what most people do for their dogs. I mean, hell, there is doggy daycare out there. If you're worried about your dog spending all day home alone, you could take them to daycare. So, I mean, if that can flourish, I think video games for dogs can flourish too. Or your owner, or for the, sucks for some dogs, your owners may think video games will rot your brain or something. So that dog won't get a video game, but there's plenty of others out there who will.
Yeah, I hope the counting bubble game comes to Steam as well. Coming to joipaw and Steam.
So you can enjoy counting bubbles too.
Mm-hmm,
what's the reward for the human? What's the reward for the humans?
Oh, nothing. Just the pure enjoyment of playing the game with your dog, because you got the thing on the floor for the dog to play, and then you're playing it on your computer at the same time. It's co-op. They could do co-op
or versus, right?
Or versus. Yeah. I like the idea of leaderboards. That I think that could definitely cause people, especially gamers and stuff, to really want to get this for their dogs, having a leaderboard on there, right? And because I mean, leaderboards, who wouldn't want their dog to be on the top of the leaderboard, right? For whack-a-mole or bubble count or whatever. So I could see that definitely being a something that people would be very interested in. And you're right, with the whole subscription service or just selling them like a mobile marketplace, $1 or $2 or whatever, depending on the game, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, you just have to put in you have to figure out an anti-cheating system, right? So the owners don't help the dogs get more. It's got to be facial recognition. If they see a human hand, that score don't count. Yeah, you're not in there whacking the moles for the dog and getting their high score up there for them. They got to do it on their own. No cheating here. So
yeah, exactly. How do you? Because I mean, then the device gets more expensive, right? If it has to detect between like oils and things like that on a human hand compared to what's on a dog's nose or whatever, that would be a very expensive device at that moment.
There's going to be a cheating scandal in the doggy leaderboards. Fido had help from his master to get that high score.
I'm just waiting, like you said, I'm just waiting for the dog esports, when they start doing an esport team.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Puppy Bowl every year. They're going to have a televised esports with dogs playing whack-a-mole, see who can get the highest score, and it just gets faster and faster, and you just see blurs of dog noses everywhere.
And as they get more stimulated, they get smarter. So then, a couple, 10 years down the line, they're playing Counter-Strike instead of whack-a-mole.
We got the top CSGO dog team versus the top human CSGO team, or it's Modern Warfare, whatever we're up to,
right.
Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty's pets versus humans at that point, Oh, there's way too many jokes and too much fun here for this. But I mean, it's an interesting concept, and I do see that there's a market value here. These guys got a pretty good concept, and they came to the market first, which is going to help them, which is going to be tons of knockoffs now. But cool. Well, Nick, if you had a dog, would you buy one for your dog?
Depending on the price, right? And I probably would, depending on the price, right? If it was $100 or $200, closer to the $100, I would probably buy it just for the sake of watching the dog play whack-a-mole and bubble count and stuff like that.
And
for
eventually
treats.
CSGO.
Eventually CSGO. It just depends on how much it is, right? They can't be. That's the thing they need to worry about, right? They can't be too expensive. They got to really think about the price and being in the general market. I mean, if you're too high, then you're going to have some people that are going to buy it, but you're not going to get that general audience, right? That general market. You got to be a little bit lower on the totem pole on the price range to get that general market where that person goes in and goes buying treats or whatever for their dog, and they see let's say $100, TV monitor that dispenses candy and it has games on it for your dogs, they'd be like, $100? I could spend $100. You'll have a lot more people doing that than this like $300 thing on there. Be like, wow, never gonna buy that, and then move it along because it's just too much. People, $100 is a lot, but people impulse buy $100. They do. They will. So
I'd agree with that. Yeah. Well, so interesting. Yeah. You got anything else you want to chat about with Fido playing games before we take away his screen time?
No, I just can't wait for you to have one. I want to watch your dogs go at it on there.
I got 2 dogs, so we can do competitive play with them.
Yeah, you got to get 2 so we can see who's the top dog.
All right. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you going to buy Man's Best Friend a gaming platform that dispenses treats when it comes out? Sign them up for the leaderboard. See if they rank gold, bronze, silver, platinum, whatever they put out there. Let us know what you think down in the comments. I mean, I think it would be an interesting concept for my dogs. I'm not. If it was close to $100, I might try it. If it's closer to $200, I'm probably would nick them out. Because that's not impulse buy at that point. That's like, I really, really love my dog, and I feel bad that they have to be alone. So let us know what you think down in the comments, and Fido would really want you to subscribe to this channel if you're not. They dog lovers everywhere want to play games, so subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on human gaming and dog gaming. So don't forget to hit the like button on this video and hit the bell for notifications of when we post new videos. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.